everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about Makar Sankranti. So first of all, let me wish you all happy Makar Sankranti and namaste to all. So I was thinking, in this 30 years of my life, I never actually celebrated. I celebrated, but I did not know why I celebrated this festival. So since I'm at home this time, so I thought I might as well research and get to know from elders what it is. So let's start. I got to know that Makar Sankranti is also known as Maghi, which is also known as Sankranti. So it is observed throughout India. In different states, it's known by different names, and they say that this sun comes up towards the north from the southern hemisphere. So it is also known as Uttarayan. So, and interestingly, okay, it is known different thing, but interestingly, it is also known as khichdi, which is like quite different because khichdi is something that we eat. And it is really interesting because we eat different kind of cuisines, and in south it is known as Pongal, and it's celebrated for 4 days, and in the north like Punjab, Delhi, Haryana, it is known as Lohri. And here in my part of the country, that is northeast, it is known by many names, especially in Assam it is known by Bihu. And us, me being a Nepali, here I celebrate this as the Makar Sankranti or Maghe Sankranti. So I have my mom here who is gonna explain what it is all about. So over to mom.
Hi everyone, I'm Surekha Sarma, a literature enthusiast from the little kingdom or little state of enchanting world that is Sikkim. Well, today I'm going to tell you about some facts of celebrating one of the main festivals of Hindus and the Nepalis, the Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti is a harvest festival that is celebrated every year on the 14th of January. The idea behind celebrating the Makar Sankranti, according to Quran, is that there was a fight between the gods led by Vishnu, protector of the world and the living beings, and the demons, in which the demons were killed and they were buried under the Mandodaro mountains. So that was a symbol of the win or the success of the good over evil ones. Another story is that of the Mahabharata, in which Bhishma Pitamaha, the mighty king who was given many boons by his deeds, was laid down on the floor or on the ground by the arrows of Arjuna. So, according to the boon, he could select whatever day to get over his, that is, he would have wished. However, due to the boons obtained by Bhishma, he could choose the death time. So he chose Uttarayana, that is the most auspicious day of the year, to just leave his mortal body and proceed towards salvation and relieve himself from rebirth. Apart from the festivals mentioned in the epics of Mahabharata, people in huge numbers, they take dips in the Ganges, the holy Ganga river, to get the salvation and get purified of the sins and get out of the cycle of rebirth. In some of the parts of the country, that is India, people, they also worship goddess Saraswati, who is the goddess of knowledge. In some regions, people offer flowers and water to the sun god. This is the day when the sun travels from one Rasi to another Rasi. So the sun god, he travels to the home of, that is house of Sunny, that is the lord of Makar Rasi. So this is a sign of, according to Puran, the sun god visits the house of Sunny, the son of the sun god, who is the Swami of Makar Rasi also. So this symbolizes the auspicious or importance of the relationship between father and son. The sun god is regarded as the son of Kashyap Rishi or Kashyap says, and he is also father of the Sunny and the god of death, that is Yamraj. The meaning of Sankranti. Now let's tell about the meaning of Sankranti. The meaning of Sankranti is the migration of sun god from one Rasi to one astronomical sign. Rasi is one of the astronomical sign, that is from Sagittarius to Capricorn Rasi. So in this way, the migration, that is from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere, and that migration from southern hemisphere to northern hemisphere designates auspicious time of the year, that is known as Uttarayan. So we came to know that there were so many wars between the gods and the demons. So at that time of the war, even during Mahabharata, the people had very less time to prepare various items or various delicacies for eating purpose. So what they did was, the readily available rice, lentils, that is dals, and vegetables, they poured in one pot and they boiled it. So that was known as khichdi. So in some parts of India, khichdi is also eaten as a prasad. That is, the auspicious occasion relates with the war of the demons and the gods. Next, in some regions, til laddus are also made and distributed amongst the family members. So the til along with gur, it is rolled into laddus. So this gur and til that are the main source of energy and heat. So during winters, we need the heat energy to get away from the chilly cold winters. Now, how to celebrate this festival? In some parts of India, many people, they take dips, holy dips in the Ganges to get oneself away from the sins and get purified, and thus get salvation from the rebirth. Early in the morning, take bath, offer water to the sun god, offer flowers to the sun god, and worship sun god. The sun god is regarded as the eye of the world, because when the sun rises, we are active, we get the energy and we work. But when the sun sets, we say good night, that is go to sleep, that is we are out of the source of energy. So that is why sun god is prayed during this month, as we need a lot of heat energy. So in some places, kite is also flown, and that coincides with the kite festival, international kite festival, which is celebrated at Ahmedabad. The kite symbolizes the freedom, peace, happiness, which tells us that our future days, that is the Uttarayan days, will be full of freedom, happiness, and success. Next, teach Gayatri Mantra to the children. Then prepare special delicacies such as til ka laddu. In some places of India, especially among the Nepalis, they take taruls. Taruls means the sweet yam. The sweet yam. So these are some of the sweet yams that is available in the Himalayas. So these are different kinds of taruls that is taken by the Nepalis. They boil it, then put tika of this tarul on the forehead in the name of sun god, and then eat, partake these all boiled taruls, that is the sweet yams. And the reason behind eating these sweet yams is that during those war times and in the winter season, the fruits were not readily available in those times, and in the mountains and Himalayas, these roots are readily available at this season of the year. Then some of the delicacies that is prepared are these til ka laddus, gujiyas. So this is ghar tarul, one of the sweet yam. This is isko jara. This is piralu. This is sweet potato, that is sakarkhandi, and this is bantarul. This is the wild yam that is eaten and is very nutritious, that gives energy, and the puffed rice that is also made into laddus. So on the auspicious occasion, I pray to God for the well-being of one and everyone. So may the God, Sun God, give energy, peace, happiness, strength, and happy Makar Sankranti to everyone. Thank you. Please subscribe to my daughter's channel and like it, share it. Thank you. Thumbs up.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please do comment in the comment section if you would like me to make this kind of content and videos in Hindi or Nepali. Thank you.